Okay, are you ready to start?
Yes.
All right. How would you compare your life before and after marriage?
Well, before I was married, I was single until I was 35 years old. I got married a few days after my 35th birthday. So I lived in an apartment by myself for about 4 years. And then I lived in a house by myself. I lived in the house maybe about 10 years. And 2 of those years I had roommates. And then I got married and have 3 kids, so I immediately started living with 4 other people when I got married.
And how are chores distributed in your house now?
Well, right now, I work full-time outside the home, and my husband works part-time in the home and out of the home. So he does most of the chores. And he keeps the cars maintained, he can repair cars.
Do you like how the chores are distributed? Would you change things?
I don't think so. He does most of the work. I like it that way.
Yeah. How different do you think things would have been if you had raised your children since they had been babies?
Well, I probably would be, feel closer bonded to them. Sarah, I've been her mother since she was 2, so she's probably the one I'm closest to. I guess that's about it. I feel a stronger, emotional kind of connection to them probably.
Do you think the way you live is easier or harder than other women you know?
Well, that's hard to say. I would say compared to other married women or other single women, it's about the same. There are trade-offs. But I mean single women without children. But single women with children, I'm sure, is much harder.
What was your education status?
I have 2 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree. I got all of those before I was married.
So you're happy with this, or would you have wanted even more?
Well, I have 2 business degrees and 1 anthropology degree, and I sort of thought I might like to get a PhD in anthropology, but I probably didn't want to really do the work. That would be hard work. And I was getting pretty old by then.
Do you think things are fair between you and your husband?
Probably not completely fair because, like I say, he does more of the chores than I do, but then he's also home more of the time than I am, so maybe it balances out.
What is your situation in work?
I work for a company that I've worked for since I graduated from college. I've worked there 21 years. And when I first got married, I started working part-time at home for the same company. They let me go work at home and work part-time. And what was the question again?
What is your work situation?
That's what it is.
All right. And how is the way you grew up different from the way your children are growing up?
It's not too much different, I don't think. I had 3 brothers, and I have 2 daughters and 1 son, so it's kind of the opposite. There's a boy with no brothers instead of a girl with no sisters.
Were your brothers treated differently from you?
I don't think so. We all got cars when we turned 16, used cars.
What interests do you share with your husband?
We both like music. We both, our jobs are computer related. He's a software programmer and I'm a software support person. We like to travel. That's what we have in common.
Do you think you're treated differently than your husband's first wife?
Of course, I don't know by him. I didn't know his first wife. They were my Sunday school teachers. I don't know how he treated her. He treats me fine.
Do you think your children feel a difference?
I'm sure they do. The oldest one, the most, because he was the oldest when she died, and I think it goes down from there. The youngest one probably doesn't really remember her biological mother, and although she knows I'm not her biological mother, I think she thinks of me as her mother.
What kind of hobbies interest you?
I like to read. I like to play Nancy Drew computer games. I like cats. We like to travel, I think I said. And I like to spend time out on our property in the country.
What do you think society's views on women are?
American society?
Yes.
Well, I think they've changed over the last 30 years or so. I think in America, women are pretty much seen as equals by mainstream society. Now, there's probably still some old school men out there that think a woman's place is in the home and only in the home. But I think more or less they've become more recognized as equals.
Mm-hmm. How different do you think your life growing up was from when your mother was growing up?
Well, my life growing up compared to my mother's life growing up was probably about the same. My mother didn't work outside the home when I was growing up, and her mother didn't work outside the home, I don't think, when she was growing up. Although her father was a rancher, they moved around a lot, and I imagine they all worked on the ranch together. So, and she didn't go to college. And again, like I said, she never worked outside the home.
How do you think things have changed for you since the city, like when you were growing up, it was smaller, but now it's getting a lot bigger?
Well, things haven't changed for me. I mean, life is still the same. I guess there are more convenient stores and restaurants. But life isn't really different. I guess kids can't play in the streets like they used to. And traffic's worse, but as far as affecting my life, it hasn't really.
So you wouldn't have liked it better before, but you wouldn't really have liked this way better. It's just kind of.
I would like it better the old way, I think. Because that's what I grew up with. I like it better, kind of small town, but close to a big town, so you could have a small town feel to life, but you could get to things that you needed close by.
And do you think women in the workplace are in comparison to the men?
Well, I've worked in the same company for 21 years, so I don't know how it is in other companies, and I think it's probably different in other companies. I've worked for this company for 21 years, and I think over those 21 years, women have gotten a more prominent place, have gotten more comparable jobs to the men, but there are probably fewer women in high-paid positions at my company than there are men in high-paid positions. But as far as women and men in the same position, I think they're treated equally, but I couldn't say for sure. I know that some women are more respected now in that company than they were when I first started working there.